last time I can see you in a while. Is it the truth that you'll be leaving tonight? We should take a walk and a swim in the sea. That would mean everything, yeah, everything to me. Can we get out of this one? Waiting and missing. I never thought you would leave me here. We can get out of this one. A tunnel of feelings. It's just like we got through everything now. But I see you, honey. This is in no way funny. We will find our way back together. But right now, there's stormy weather. I see a tear begins to fall from your eyes. It is the truth that you'll be leaving tonight. I will be there with you even when you are alone. And I'll be waiting here when you come home. Can we get out of this one? Waiting and missing. I never thought you would leave me here. We can get out of this one. A tunnel of feelings. Just like we got through everything else. But I see you, honey. This is in no way funny. We will find our way back together. But right now, there's stormy weather. Can we get out of this one? Waiting and missing. I never thought you would leave me here. We can get out of this one. A tunnel of feelings. Just like we got through everything else. But I see you, honey. This is in no way funny. We will find our way back together. But right now, there's stormy weather. Clouds roll by, glittering. I never thought they would let me in. A fading light, a distant call. The devil will never be welcome here at all. The sky is gray, I guess that's what it takes to feel a little lonely yesterday. Do you feel our love is the only thing that is real? It's like a heart with nothing to conceal, nothing more. Lesson learned, a slight state of hope that you will return. It's what I got, and then the summer turned into fall. wonder how this night will be. The apple does not fall from the tree. She said I almost died a week ago. I lost my way, I thought I'd let you know. The countryside, the water so I wait up here, I just let it know. I wait along the corridor, some would say they've seen me here before. Do we need to go this far? We do know who we are. Can we make this even better? Somewhere close about. Ooh, let's find out. No, I never felt this way. People change, but it feels like we stay the same. Every time you look at me, I'm heating up at least a third degree. Do we need to go this far? We do know who we are. Can we make this even better? Somewhere close about. Ooh, let's find out. Everything will clear in time. Everything will clear in time. I thought I'd let you know. Do we need to go this far? We do know who we are. Can we make this even better? Somewhere close about. Ooh, let's find out. Ooh, let's find out.
いやいや、どこで木こりは物をしました。これが美味しいっていうことだな。こう